Ashley.
And hello, we are officially recording. How do we feel this morning?
It's a Monday and we're here.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that's about where everything is right now.
Well, the way I look at it is that for the rest of the week, at least we'll be able to say we did something.
That's
Like we're
right.
accomplished from Monday morning onwards.
That's a
So
good way to put it. I like that. At least we did something.
at least we did something.
All right. So it has been a minute since we talked. Uh, you finished a book. Mine comes out tomorrow. You started a new book. I'm in the middle of the one I've been working on forever. So what's new? Tell us everything that's new.
Yeah, I think the big thing is I did finish a book, which I had been working on forever. I think I've talked about it before when we were talking about stuff about how this book had just sort of been my struggle book and like I don't know if I ever figured out what it was about this book, if it was just because it was a sequel, which I had never done before, or if I was just happened to be experiencing burnout while this book was what was on the table, but I did finally finish it. But I was like down to the wire of my deadline where I was like, I still have to write 10 chapters and it's 10 days until the deadline. So I wrote 10 chapters in 10 days.
Can you please tell us how you did that and me specifically?
Yeah, I think my anxiety about missing the deadline was finally enough to overpower all of my anxiety about actually writing the book.
Yeah.
So, I did manage 10 chapters in 10 days, but it wasn't an even like chapter a day. I got behind a little bit, about halfway. So the last 5 days, I think I actually wrote like seven chapters.
That's
But
wild.
that's a chapter for me is about 3,000 words. So, if
That's
you can do
intense.
a 20K in 5 days where, you're doing like 5,000 words a day, then you can do that.
That's wild. I tried that. I didn't even get 3,000 words. I got 2,700 in one day and then I was like just dead for the next 3 days. So I don't see how. But that's amazing. I'm so proud of you for doing that and you're done.
Yes,
So
finally.
that's awesome. And I know that you said forever that the sequel thing is not something you'll ever do again, but now that you're done and you know that you can, is your stance the same?
Maybe, I don't know. I think I'd really have to be where I had intended it to be the sequel. And I had, because this one, it was like, I wrote the first one without necessarily intending for it to be a duology.
Mm.
And then, it was like the beta readers really loved that B couple and wanted them to have their own book. And I was like, yeah, that's the thing I can do. But I didn't really have like a plan for it, which I think made it more difficult. So I think if I was going to do a sequel again, it would have to be something where there was a sequel like intended from the beginning so that I knew what to set up for it in the first book and kind of instead of like feeling like I needed to pull something together kind of like last minute.
Oh, so you don't want to write like I write then.
No, I am a heavy plotter.
I know. Oh man. So maybe that's why, because you couldn't plan for it. Which makes sense
Yeah.
though, because I mean, I one of my projects that I have made significant progress in is a side couple or a side character even. He wasn't even part of a couple at that point. And uh someone was reading um my book that comes out tomorrow, which I actually have
Ooh,
one in front of
yay.
me for once. Um and a side character in this, and they were like, I kind of love him. You should do something with this. And I was like, okay, bet. And so then it just like happened, and like he went a whole different way, and there's like so much more to him than I expected. And it's so funny, like how these characters, like we always say that, but they like are like fully formed people, and even the side characters, it's just cool to see where they can go.
Yeah. I do like that. It's just I know people that don't write are always would kind of like pick on us a little bit about like you are the author. How do the characters do stuff that you did that surprises you or that you don't plan for? And it's like I don't know. It just happens. There's always something that comes up every book where I'm like, huh, oh, I didn't know that. What's gonna
It's
happen?
like it's like I don't know everything about my friends, right? It's like a friend that lives in my head.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like you find out something new about them sometimes.
Love that. I
So,
am so
okay.
excited though that you have a copy of your book to show
I
us
know
because
it
you didn't
came
know
in
if you were going to get it
early.
in time.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Let me get it in there we go. I wasn't sure because it's the I will be getting, I think, copies when I go to Book Harvest next week, but I wasn't sure when they would come in. So, and it's nice. It turned out okay. I flipped through and everything looks good inside, which is good because I'm the one who did the inside. So, you know, the writing and the formatting. So, like, if
Right.
I, it's all on me if it looks bad. But
So you
yeah,
should be
so
extra proud for this one because
I
you did
know
extra
I did a
well.
lot. Yeah. I even I even did because I one of my things that I wanted to do when I was unsure of what I wanted to do was editing. So I even did, and it's hard to edit yourself, but I did go
Yeah,
back and try to separate myself and like edit it. So we had an editor as well, but because I am the way that I am,
all right.
and I may not be good at planning things, but I am very much at being like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it myself. So
Well, while you're sitting there holding your book, why don't you tell us about it because it comes out tomorrow?
tomorrow, yes. And okay, so this is Puck to the Heart, and we have Olivia and Asher, and he plays hockey, which I don't you probably can tell. She is a scientist. She specifically is a chemist, and her current job when the book begins is one that gives me just a really stupid little giggle every time I think about it. But she is a contract chemist, and she works specifically at this moment for an industrial lubrication company. So there's like a ongoing gag that she's a lube doctor, which just it's dumb and it's one of those stupid things that just makes me laugh. But they meet and he pushes her buttons and she doesn't like him and she's like, I don't care that you're pretty. And he doesn't know what to do with that. And so he has a lot of fun pushing her buttons, but then they kind of keep coming through for each other in ways that neither one of them expects. And things happen and stuff shifts and they fall in love.
Which I really love this. I was very fortunate to be able to do some beta reading for you when you were writing this. And I absolutely loved Olivia because I felt very seen and represented because she does have, if I recall correctly, some anxiety type challenges
Mm-hmm.
that feel very, very similar to the things that I deal with. So this has got some really good anxiety rep in there. And I just wanted to point that out because I don't see a whole lot of that in other romance books. And I think it's good to see that kind of like on page and how a relationship can thrive with somebody that has those anxiety struggles because he is really, really good about helping her when she is having a hard time. And I love to see that on page.
I love that. And I mean, Olivia has a lot of I took most of my personality out of her, but she does have a little bit of my snark still. And she definitely has my anxiety. That is one thing that I really wanted to give her because I don't think I've ever seen my like particular brand of anxiety on page. And so I felt like, maybe someone else will feel like me and like feel responsible for things that are not your fault. But you were, like her dad has an accident, which is kind of the pivotal moment for their relationship. And I won't, without getting too much into it, she feels responsible and she isn't, but it's like, if I was there, could I have done this? Or if I was able to answer my phone, or if this and this, and like all of those sort of like spirally moments. And then Ash is the goldenest of golden retriever book boyfriends. And he was supposed to be a jerk, and I just couldn't make him be a jerk. And that's like, this is how he existed. And it's like he was already this way, and I couldn't force him into that like mean kind of dude. And he just was like, okay, I'll fix it. And he's just so sweet, especially with her anxiety. And I think that like having someone who's not afraid to engage with that sort of character, because it can be, I mean, I'm overwhelmed by it. I'm sure it's overwhelming for the people who are around me. So I liked to I wanted to have a good representation with Olivia, but also like it can be like this. Like he doesn't, if you can lean on someone and you don't have to deal, like not deal with it all on your own, I guess, but like maybe have someone, if you have the I can't talk. If you have someone to help you through it, maybe you can learn from that and like help yourself, because at some point he does help her, but then at some point she's like, I have learned this and I can help myself. So that's I appreciated that. Oh, my dog wants in. Please hold on. Sorry, she's gonna like
Good.
bark if I don't. Ah. have to be on camera.
Oh my gosh, puppy!
Come
Adorable.
on, Scooch. Yeah. So, all
Thank
right,
you
go.
for sharing your dog with me.
Yes, you're welcome. I figure you never, I don't know if you've ever actually seen her. She never like
I
is,
haven't.
my
I've
camera's
heard
up too
her.
high.
Yeah.
She's always kind of there up under me, but she's never here, like visible. Um, but yeah, so also I wanted to talk about like women in STEM and like how um that's such a it's kind of a growing theme I think in books now, but I it's still there are so few women in traditionally male spaces like STEM
Mm,
careers, and so I saw that it was inspired by my husband, not my husband specifically, but like my husband's coworkers because my husband is a scientist
mm.
and we went to a hockey game. There was like a work thing at a hockey game, and I was like, there are like two or three women and a bunch of dudes, and just like what must that be like? And it just kind of spiraled
Taking
from there.
inspiration from real life for this one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool that you can actually, yeah. That's cool. I like that. And I do, I'm going back to what you said about trying to write him being a jerk and being unable to do that. That has happened to me multiple times because like I really like reading book boyfriends that kind of start out as jerks, but I can not write one to save my life because my husband is a huge golden retriever and it's like that's all that I think we've talked about that before. Like we're both very
Mhm.
anxious and we have like these really amazing supportive golden retriever husbands and it's like that just seems to be what comes out try
It's
to
so
write.
nice. Yeah. I'm like this, write what you know. And that's not unfortunately, but that's what I know. So like I can't get the mean dude because I have this one for once too.
Right.
But was supposed to be mean. He was supposed to be like big and scary, but he's just shy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
always like yeah. It's like even if they're not necessarily super friendly at the beginning, it's always because like, oh, I'm a little shy or, something like that instead of an
yeah.
actual jerk. But that's super funny. And
One
I
day
do
I will
like the
write a
women
jerk.
in STEM. One of these days,
One
yeah,
day.
it's like we'll get there and it's going to be a surprise to us when it happens.
Okay, so um now that you are done with your sequel, what are you doing next?
I am working on what I would call like a dark horror comedy that is like a serial killer romance. It's set I set this in the 80s for reasons that I don't even really know, except I was going for kind of like that kind of like gritty neon punk vibe. Um, but I've said many times that I can't write a rom-com because I'm not funny. So I guess I just decided to actually put that to the test and see if I could write something that was actually funny. Um, I think if I'm two chapters into this, so I may be unsuccessful, but I think the first two chapters so far are pretty funny.
I think you're funny. I think we have a similar sense of humor, and it's one of those things like if you have a good setting and like a good you can be funny. You just have to find your audience with the like type of humor because I make myself laugh and that's all I really need, right?
Yeah, well, see, I think I'm fairly funny like in person, but it's
Hmm.
hard to
It's
for
hard to
me, it's like it's
translate.
difficult to translate that like my sense of humor, I think, into like something that's like written.
Mm.
So it's gonna be, I think, a fun challenge for myself to see if I can actually make it like actually funny.
I think that the like sort of snarkiness that we tend to have, both of us, would probably lend itself nicely to a serial killer romance. So I think that
Right.
that it's a good place to go. And that's having such a moment right now. Like, and okay, I was hesitant at first because Dexter was a little bit scarring for me. And so I couldn't really see how it could be a rom-com.
Right.
But I read, and Lights Out is not, he's not a serial killer, but he's allegedly scary.
Mhm.
Uh, anyway, so Lights Out. I know you're writing a book, or you wrote a book about a lighthouse, but that's not where we're at right now.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so that was like a gateway. It was really funny. So I think that you have a good space because I don't see that dying down at all. Like they are in a big moment. And it's a good time of year to write that too, right? Like it's well,
It is.
we live in the South. So
It,
we're fucked. But
yeah, but I mean, it's still like they've still got all the Halloween stuff up, and
yeah,
things.
yeah. There's
It's
like
as
bats and
fall-ish
shit.
as we're gonna get. Yeah. And I also this is gonna be my first plus size romance rep. I
Cool.
have not
Nice.
done that before because like even as a chunky-ish person myself, I have a lot of like body image issues that I was working through and didn't want to, try to write a book and then come across like, you know, I feel like you got to be in a space, with your own comfort and your own body
Yeah.
before you can write like positive fat people. And I was not
I like
there,
that.
but I'm gonna make an attempt and see what happens.
It's a weird place to be, particularly now, not like bringing this like social stuff into it, but why not? But like with the whole like skinny resurgence that's happening right now, it feels weird to like write any sort of character. It's like if you do one thing too far, people are gonna be pissed at you, and if you do like, and someone's
Yeah.
gonna take personal offense, like, oh, I don't like this word that you used to describe this character who is plus size, and so like,
Yeah. But I think it's also because of the whole skinny resurgence thing. I do think it makes it feel extra important to write plus size characters falling
yeah,
in love and having vibrant sex lives because,
yeah,
we're getting more of that messaging again that like in order to deserve those things, you need to be skinny. But I know for me, it was like I was seeing a lot of people talking about, plus size books and plus size reps and wanting it to be like people that had good body image and good, like body positivity at their size. And I was like, I haven't always felt that way. And I didn't know if it was like, do I write a character that struggles with that because that's what I feel is authentic to my experience? Or do I try to write one who's really confident, even though that's not how I've always felt because that's and I struggled with that a little bit. I think for the character for this one is going to be just really confident in her body, just because when I started designing the character, that was like what came to me. But I do think in the future that I will write one that has like more of my own experience, where coming to that sort of body acceptance has been a struggle. Because I
mhm,
think just I think it's if you're going to write plus size people, I think for me you should write a variety of experiences with that.
yes.
People that feel differently about their bodies and have different journeys to being comfortable. And I just think that's a thing that I would like to explore going forward.
I like that. I think, yeah, I mean, like, we're all just people and we all deserve love, no matter what the early 2000s told us. So there's that. But I like that. I'm excited to see where that goes. So I love that. Also, I mean, there's, a lot to be said about toxic positivity, like toxic body positivity. It's like where people, if you are body positive in whatever direction you're body positive, you are not allowed to have a bad day, is what it always seems like. And that's not how it works, too. So writing
Yeah.
that, I think, will
And
be,
I really struggled with that, the expectations of body positivity, that I had to learn to love my body. And I think I have been a lot happier and a lot more comfortable just existing fat when I was like, I can get by with just being neutral about it and just being like, this is my body and this is what it
yeah.
looks like. And I don't have to love it every day or whatever. I just have to be able to exist in it. And I've been a lot more comfortable and thinking about my body a lot less when I wasn't trying to convince myself to love it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a good place to be, I think. Like neutrality is good because like
Yeah.
how many things do you truly love every single day? Like
Yeah.
you love your kid, you love your dog, probably mostly your partner. I don't know. Some days it's questionable, right? But you snored too much last night.
Right.
Uh, but no, like I like that. So that's a really good place to be.
So
Cool.
would you like to tell us what you are working on now?
Well, I haven't actually like talked about it, but I can.
Oh,
I am in the process of like moving into self-publishing, which is a little bit scary, particularly now. But my first foray into self-publishing is going to be a sort of companion post-epilogue novella for Puck to the Heart. I have been planning on writing like a couple of extra bonus chapters, but it turned into this like whole thing. And that's like sort of where we went after I don't want to like get into it, like spoilers, but like the end of Puck to the Heart, and like everything is sort of everything ends, but it's like there are possibilities.
Right.
And I was like, what if this? And so when I got started, it just like clicked, and I have this like, I don't outline, but I have like a fully formed outline. I have like bullet points and a list and like chapters, and I'll like my chapters are like, this is going to be this many words and this and this and this. And so it's going to happen. I don't have like a date yet because I'm not finished and I need to line up an editor. And, but yeah, so that's what's coming next. And so we
Well,
can,
that is very exciting, but also it sounds like you are at the top of the very slippery slope of becoming a plotter. I'm just saying.
ah,
Just you
don't do
said
that to me. I would love to be a plotter. I want to so bad. Like, I think my thing is I have to, I'm a plotter about a third of the way through the process. It's what I think I've figured out. It's like, I
right.
need to get my characters, I need to have a visual of my characters. I need to have a little bit of setting, and I need to have a direction to go in. And then I can plot. So that's kind of what I figured out because I got into my other um secret project that is not announced yet because I'm not
Right.
enough into it to like get like I mean I'm 60,000 words into it. So I'm actually like significantly into it, but I think I was about 30,000 when I was like, okay, so we have this is established and this and like these characters and this is what their family dynamic is. And then from there I was like, okay, so what is the breakdown? If that's our first third, because my goal is 90,000, which
Right.
is okay in self-pub, but I know it's a little high for trad pub. Where do we go from here? And so I have like a big whiteboard on my wall. I have sticky notes. I have like, and it's a whole thing. And I'm like, I keep telling people that be proud of me because this is not something that I do. Now, if I stick to it, is a whole nother thing, but
Oh yeah.
it exists.
I have to update the outline just constantly while I'm writing because, again, the characters do not behave themselves particularly well. And I do like the process of discovering things while I'm writing. So I'm always like, oh, well, that's going to have to change the entire, the entire back half of the book that now has to be adjusted. But I'm just not brave enough to go in and not have a roadmap of what I need to be doing.
I mean, I always say that I go into it knowing the beginning, the middle, and the end. I just don't have like all of the steps to get there. So I know where we're going. But yeah, it is a little bit daunting. Being a discovery writer, I think that's another way that I've heard it called, and I like that a little
Yeah,
bit better than pantser because
right.
it sounds slightly nicer. Um, but like discovery writing is like you go along and you're like, oh, this. But then the problem with that is that my notes document that is like attached to my Scrivener doc is like a chapter length at this point. So when I go back and take that out, my word count's going to drop significantly, and that is going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else we have going on.
I know I just completely blanked.
Yeah.
Like we just talked about this. It's not even been 4 days, and it's like just absolutely nothing. We do
There
have fun stuff
is.
planned though. So that's cool. I do have notes, so I can at least look at my
Okay.
notes, so we can do
Yeah.
that. We want to going forward, we want to do some cool like comparisons of genres and like maybe talk to people who write in those specific genres that we don't write in.
Right.
Um, so
Genre comparisons, lots of writing process things where we want to get into more specific, more detailed things, writing
mhm,
realistic dialogue, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Also, don't you have an event coming up soon that you
Yes,
could tell people about?
I do. I do have an event coming soon. I have like next week is Book Harvest Book Con in Chicago from I think it's the second and third or third and fourth. Yes. Yes. Okay. The third and fourth. So at the time of filming this, it will be next weekend. So October 3rd and 4th. In Chicago, which is cool. I have been to Chicago before, once for a very short trip. And I'm really excited because Chicago pizza is like the actual best thing on the planet. Like it doesn't fit in your mouth very well, but it's like the thick that
Yeah.
double layer pizzas. That sounds right. Yes. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, so I will be at Book Harvest BookCon. I have a booth. I will have both Puck to the Heart and Sliding into Love. So I will be it's a dark romance kind of fall harvest themed um book book festival, or it's not a book festival, it's a book con. And so most of my LCP people and I who will be there will be a little bit lighter in tone than the other attendees. So but Puck to the Heart starts in October and then Sliding into Love ends in October, so it actually lined up really nicely for that. But a bunch of us will be there. I'll be there, Tristan will be there, Tristan Crone, Kirsten Bowling, Aaron Maynard, whose name I just completely blanked on again. Good God. Becca Westrup, and then LCP. I think those are the five of us who have our own tables. And then Lake Country Press, our publisher, has their own booth with like 5 or 6 authors. I don't, so yes, lots of options. Not that anybody's going to care at the moment because now I can't remember anybody's last name. But yeah,
Well,
so go ahead.
I don't know, I was gonna say it sounds like you're gonna have a good weekend hanging out with a bunch of cool people, if nothing else.
Yeah, we're all together in like a little group, so we're probably going to get in trouble.
All right. I am extremely jealous of your book convention, meeting all of your friends.
Yeah, I haven't met any of my book friends in person. This has been, I signed 3 years ago with LCP, and like I have in that time I've not met anyone in person.
Yeah.
Um, so it's gonna be exciting. I'm terrified. I've had many stress dreams about it, and I think that's a good thing though that because I'm like projecting forward because I have a book come out tomorrow, but like I only had one bad like stress dream over that, and otherwise I'm fine with that
See,
one. It's like,
that's the key is every time you have a stressful event, you just need to schedule a more stressful event for the
yeah,
future.
there we go. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Because it's so, do you have that when you have a book coming out? Do you like have stress dreams where you're like someone that you know and like that you specifically think will like it? Like the people that I interact with, I'm like, oh, I think you'll like this. I'm doing whatever. And oh, there goes your puppy. Oh. um, and they're like, oh yeah, it sounds great. It's so exciting. I can't wait to read it. And then like my stress dreams are like this person specifically hates it. Like these people that you think will like it and like that you think are your friends hate it.
Just hate it. Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever had a stress dream. I think mine is more like grinding my teeth
Mm.
in my sleep as I get closer to stress days, and then just waking up with where my whole face hurts and
I think that I have transferred some of my cortisol at this point to my husband because he said that he also has had a stress dream about book stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what I'm doing to give it to you. I should
no,
probably
but that's
stop texting
actually
him throughout the day.
that is so sweet though that he
He's
is so stressed for you and he's so worried about you that he's having stress
He's
dreams
so
about your
worried because I
stress.
keep texting him. I'm like, oh my God, do I need a sign? Do I need another sign? Like I have giant copies of my book cover. I don't have like a big foldy sign because it seems I don't know if it'll fit in my suitcase.
Right.
So, but I have like big poster things that I can fit in like the flat of my suitcase. And so it's like I have that. So at least people can see like giant books from a distance. But then I'm like, oh my God, do I need to get this? Do I need to get this stuff shipped here? Like how much stuff do I need to buy from Amazon? Do I need more stickers? Do I need more bookmarks? And I'm like I have stacks of bookmarks, okay, but like this is only half of like I have 2 stacks of both books. And I'm like, do I need more? Do I have and it's like I know that I'm spiraling, but I can't stop myself. And it's like this is where the anxiety comes in. So
Yes. Well, when you are done with your book con, we should do an episode about what it's like to go to a book convention and how many
yeah.
bookmarks you actually need and all that kind of stuff. We should round up you and whoever else that was there that wants to chat with us,
Oh,
and
that's a
you
good
guys can
idea.
tell us about what it was like and how much supplies you need and signage and all that kind of stuff because I've never done one before, partly because I live in the armpit of Texas and everything is super far away, but also because I would be doing exactly what you're doing, which is anxiety spiraling about what to bring and how much and whether my sign is big enough.
Yeah, I practiced. Okay, like this is the point of just ridiculousness that I'm at last night, or that I am at because I practiced my table setup last night, and
Right.
like the whole family got in on it. We had like everybody was giving input. Like my 9-year-old was like, "Oh, I think I should go and help you sell books," and I'm like, "Oh, maybe not this one."
Yeah, that's fun.
But she's now like, I can write books too, and we can sell books together, and it's very
That is
sweet.
so sweet.
So, and like maybe, maybe I'm trying to keep a lid on it so she doesn't know that I'm spiraling.
That's
So,
very nice of you. My whole family always knows when I'm spiraling.
well, I think so. We don't have time to get into it really. This is like a whole therapy session that we need to have. But my husband and I both are very anxious people, and my child is anxious as well. And so it's just, and I try to like, so she doesn't know like how bad it can be. Like
Right.
like it's good for her to know that it exists, but I don't need her to know that I'm just like terrified all the time.
What
Ooh,
are we
okay,
looking?
okay. One more thing.
Mhm.
Do you have names yet for your characters for your serial killer book?
I do.
Do you want to
Do
tell
you
us what
want?
they are? Are you ready to
Yeah, I can.
share?
Yeah, I can at least give you. It's going to be Jake and Sloan.
Sloan. I love the name Sloan. I don't know
Right.
why. It's like that's such a good name. I always love those. Okay, that's good. I'm excited.
I
Do you
usually
have
start with names like pretty early on in the process because I feel like a name, you got to have the personality that goes with the name. So I find it easier, I think, to start with a name and then build a person around it than try to find the perfect name for a person for someone that already exists.
See, I think I'm like the exact opposite. And the one that I have not talked about a whole lot is they have all changed. Okay. My very first character, I have Royal and his Roy, and his name has been the same the whole time. And I don't know why his name is stuck, but it's not going anywhere. But everyone else has changed names like 3 or 4 times at this point. And like I had to go through each time and command F, because if you command F and replace all, you will end up with some weird fucking words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, my when I did Sliding into Love the first time, when I was editing and like changing names for that, and I did that with Ethan's name. And he was originally Ben, as we
Mhm.
know. And I had some like Beneath turned into Ethan Eth.
Very nice.
That was just funny.
Yeah,
To
that does make an interesting edit pass though, when you're like, oh, I didn't mean for that to go there.
It is nice to like have a little bit of levity during the editing process though. So you see that and you're like, oh, everything I wrote sucks, but haha, I'm at least stupid.
Right? You got to get your laughs where you can get them. Editing is
Yeah.
like my least favorite thing. I don't know what it is about editing, but it is. I do not love it. I like drafting a lot. The creation of the story is fun, but actually having to go back and try to make it good is labor, and it is miserable for me. Are you an editing person or a drafting person?
I hate both of them while I'm doing them. And when I'm not doing one, I like the other.
Right?
That came out weird. But if I'm editing,
I
I
know what
like
you meant.
drafting. And if I'm drafting, I like editing.
Yeah.
I will say though that it is easier for me personally to like red pen edit. And I know that that is terrible like printing and stuff, but if you can like compost or recycle paper or whatever, then at least that helps. But or like on a tablet or something if that is an option. But like going through and like physically marking it up is just another layer of editing for me, and it separates me from it, I think.
Yeah.
So it has made it less of a like this sucks kind of thing. It's like if I'm looking at it as if someone else wrote it. So
That's a good trick though. I've not tried that one, but it does make sense to me. And at this point, it's like whatever you have to do to trick your brain
mm-hmm.
into letting you do the thing. Because my favorite part of writing is having already written,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like, oh look, I did that. That's my favorite part.
Well, I like to trick you, not you specifically. Well, yeah, sometimes you, but like people in general. I'm like, I can't read it if you don't write it. So,
Sometimes
yeah,
I need that kind of motivation.
yeah.
Legitimately, that was the one thing I think that really made writing fan fiction so much easier for me was I could upload stuff a chapter at a time, and get immediate feedback of like, oh, people being excited to have it instead of trying to write a whole book before I get somebody who's like, oh, I liked this.
Hmm.
Um, I like to have somebody who's like, hey, I can't read this if you didn't write the words.
Yes. Well, I will randomly poke you and be like, excuse me, write
Excuse
this
me.
for me specifically to read it. I don't care what you do with it otherwise, but just me personally. Yeah. And on that note, yeah, that's a good way to
On
end
that
things.
note, I think we are running out of time.
We are. Write a book just for me to read it.
I will do that. I mean, I really just, it really only takes one person for me, other than myself, for me to be
Yeah.
willing to write something. So that actually works for me.
I think that at some point when we have to write for ourselves, like I think that that's what I did with my newest one is writing for me, and I like that. So I don't care if anybody else likes it. That's not true, but that's
We
another discussion. Next time.
next time. All right. Well, thank you very much for chatting with me again.
Thank you.
I enjoy doing our talks.
This is fun. It's nice. One day I will stop talking so much. I'm sorry.
We're supposed to be talking. That's
I know. I feel like I'm just like everything always, but it's okay.